Going on, everybody? So we are playing some Skyrim and talking crypto, and another bad day in the crypto market. We're not seeing that kind of pump that we're looking for. We're not seeing that big move that we would like to see, but the market is not doing nearly as bad. This morning when we were talking, we were sitting down. We ended up going down about $50-60 billion for the day. And we are, with about 12 minutes left on the clock, we are down 14 billion on the day. At one point, a few minutes ago, we were almost dead even on the day. So there's a lot of buyback happening right now. And there was a report that just came out, and I'll show it to you here real quick. It's Dow Futures. So AI has been out of vogue right now with the broad markets. And there always seems to be a reason for AI to dump. Not because of revenue, not because of potential, but because people are just nervous. People are taking their profit or making their profit where they get it, and that's just it. By the way, I'm going to try real quick. You might be seeing me at this point on Twitter. I just clicked on the Twitter output button. I don't have a title on it. I don't know exactly what it is that's going on Twitter, if there is anything. But, I guess let's go check and see if... trying to see if this is going to work. So, yeah, I don't see... I probably shouldn't be talking about a teenage kid like that either. Yeah, I don't see it. So, I hit the Twitter output button, and it says that I'm streaming, but I don't see a stream here, so maybe I'm not streaming. But I tried, all right? I thought that I had... oh, well, doesn't matter. Thought that I might have a stream right there, but apparently I don't. Anyway, so Dow Jones... everything, AI collapsing, everything coming down. Bad day for the Dow Jones, down 660 points. But guess what? In the overnight market, it's already up 600 points. The 600 points that it's down, it just made back in, I'm going to say, an hour after the close of the market, supported by a couple of different projects. Applied Materials and Arista Networks are two big AI hardware places, and they are jumping because their earnings are way up. And people are starting to see this. Like, there's so much FUD going on in this broader AI market that people are no longer even paying attention to the truth at this point. You know what I mean? So, I don't know what's going on with a lot of this stuff, but here's what I do know. We're playing Skyrim, and we're talking crypto. So if you have any questions about dev, or you have any questions about anything, you can ask it in the chat, and if we get a chance to, we'll get to it. I restarted the game, leveled up just a little bit here before I did, just to kind of get it, to where I wanted to be, I suppose. And now we want to get the Staff of Indaris. So that means, for those of you that have never played, sorry, those that have played, I am going to Elsewhere. Elsewhere, for those of you that don't know, is where the cat people come from, and I am playing a cat people as my own, by the way. So we're going to go to Falkreath, which just outside of Falkreath, there is a couple of cats.
I'll bet you're quite the acrobat.
I'm feeling weak as the sun rises, which means that I am a vampire. So we're going to take that, and whoa. All right. Well, screwed that up. Now we got to run back over to our Dragonborn gallery. And J. Manuel says, I added more dev to my bag. Look, I stay bullish on dev because, and by the way, when I say that, I stay bullish on dev. Anything can happen. For those of you that don't know, and I streamed this last night, Basically, Tom, the owner of Dev, the CEO, the founder, he basically fired his CEO and everybody who was in it. Now, the other part was, I don't understand exactly what was going on, and I can't presume at this point to tell you guys exactly what was going on, like behind closed doors, if you will. But it seemed like, it felt like he was very unhappy with what had been going on. Like, and again, I don't know what was going on, but he seemed like he was out of sorts about it all. And by that I mean that he just seemed like he was not happy. I was getting rumors that he was unhappy with what was going on over there, that he wanted, like this guy. Look, I'll put it this way. Tom is, and I've had Tom on the show. You guys have seen him. He's never been more bullish, so he says. Now, that's easy for him to say because it's his company, and, I would say the same thing about my company. I've never been more bullish on my company. But that's not exactly true. So, I don't know if he is or is not. But then we get the update on Wednesday, and he basically says that Ray is no longer with the company. We learn that Ray is no longer there. Ray was the CEO. Not only is Ray no longer with the company, but everybody there got fired
will step on.
by Ray.
You wish to travel, then
So
travel. No
when
but do.
they ran out of funds, and just for full disclosure, that they were running out of funds, or they were low on funds, whatever you call it. They were low on funds because it wasn't happening the way that they wanted to, or with the speed that they wanted it to happen. None of it was happening. So Ray just laid everybody off without telling Tom, and then Tom was like, "Hey, where's everybody at?" And he's like, "Oh, I laid everybody off." So he's like, "What are you doing?" Like,
softly, friend.
so he
These
was not
words are
happy
filled with
with
brilliance.
some of the things that Ray was doing, and it was clearly getting to a spot here where Ray, I think that was, you know what, 100% speculation on my behalf, if I say anything about that, but it seemed like Ray was just not really happy with something recently that, that it was taking too long, or, whatever the case may be, or that the financing didn't come through with DevStream. DevStream, of course, backed out at the last moment of their deal. They had agreed, in principle, to buy $1 million worth of Dev OTC over a period of time. They had an agreement in place, and then in the meantime, that company was being bought or merged in with two other companies, DevStream that is, and that meant that whoever was in charge over at whatever company, whoever's going to be ultimately in charge, said that that deal of $3 million was going to be a deal breaker for the merger. So DevStream had to say, "Hey, we're sorry, but we can't do it," which is wild, right? We should recognize how just insane that is, because the people in this situation, the people who are responsible for DevStream were people from Dev and Devio and DevX and all those places. So yeah, it's kind of crazy that they just kind of sort of backed out at the last minute, but it's a financial move. So that left Dev with low funds. So Dev had to go do fun. And by the way, I am also friendly and familiar with the people who are doing the fundraising and all that kind of stuff. And I am not concerned with the fundraising because I do know how it's going, and it's going very well. So I am not worried about Dev. I am annoyed. I'm annoyed because it should have happened already. We should be done with this. We should already had an announcement. We should have had, some stuff should have happened already. Ooh, big spider. So, you know, and I understand everybody's frustration because I experienced the same frustration. I want my bag to be pumped as well. Okay? You know, that's really what it comes down to. I want my bag to be pumped as well. But Tom, again, stays pretty bullish. Now, I've spoken with Tom about me rejoining the team or joining the team in some capacity, you know, doing some work for dev, and he was receptive to it. I don't know if that means I'll get hired. I don't know if anything will happen. I don't know if I'll be a content creator or anything like that. I don't know what's going to end up happening, but you know, I did reach out and he was receptive to it. So, you know, maybe we'll be talking about dev for a while, and they got some interesting stuff going on. Now the question is, you know, how does it play out ultimately? And I think that the end result of this is, according to Tom, this is the best thing that could have possibly happened. Everything that's playing out right now is playing out positively in his mind, even though some of the things that are happening to me look and feel fairly negative. I mean, when you have a CEO that's gone, when you have everybody on the team that's just like getting let go at a moment's notice, and you know, all that kind of stuff. When I see that kind of stuff, like, it doesn't look as bullish as, you know, Tom would have you believe just on the surface. But according to Tom, none of that matters. Like, here's what matters. What matters is that Tom, a couple months ago, was introduced to something very important, and that was Claude 4.3. Claude 4.3 is one of those programming things for developers to create to create programs and stuff like that. So it's an AI agent that helps you program. And it turns out that thing is really, really good and has fundamentally changed the way that you interact with programmers. It has reduced the need for programmers by 80%. It's sped up what a single programmer can do by months. There's nothing not to like right now about what Claude is doing. So for Tom, this has created a much faster resolution to any problems, concerns, and or issues that he might be dealing with. And when I say dealing with, I just mean, you know, that he might be dealing with in programming and getting ready for, you know, whatever's to come, if something's to come, right? So he's been saying that, you know, like dev platform was at about 90% completed, that they were going to be finished up by the first quarter, which we're in the first quarter right now. So the platform is ready to be live at the end of the first quarter. And he's like, that's sped up even with time off right now. And what they have right now are 6 developers for, you know, again, this is for full disclosure. There are 6 developers working on dev right now, and they're all working on, you know, different facets of it, and they can get their stuff done very, very, very rapidly now because of what's going on with Claude and everything that's happening there. So it's a really good thing, I think, ultimately for the project and for everybody who is involved. So, you know, I, according to him, and again, I don't know that to be the case. I am telling you what I'm being told. So, you know, I'm not saying that I'm in on it. I have no idea, you know, behind closed doors, what's going on, how it's going on, how good, bad, indifferent anything is. I have no idea of any of that. All I can do is go off of the same thing as you, what Tom is posting in chat, and I've had private discussions with him, but they're limited private discussions. I'm not like standing around talking to Tom Anderson all day long or anything like that, not even remotely. So, you know, whatever is going on, we both kind of have the same information. At some point, if I'm, you know, if I in any way join this team in some fashion for anything, then I might have a little bit more access to data and information, but I most likely wouldn't be able to share it. So it wouldn't really matter. Not for you guys, but I mean, maybe I would know. And if you look at me and I'm super bullish, then you'll know that something's super, you know, you can look at me and tell, if you will. But, you know, ultimately, he's bullish, so he expects everybody else to be kind of bullish. But one thing that you can say about Tom is that Tom really understands what it's like to be a crypto bro in a crypto market. He is not that guy who just... he's not that guy who just doesn't do... You know, like he's not a moon boy, if you will. Like, if anything, listening to him is a buzzkill. And I hope Tom's not watching and hearing me say that he's a buzzkill. But he's pretty pragmatic about the way that he speaks and the promises. He's never made a promise, basically, you know. He's never said, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. You know, he's never given us anything specific or special that Dev is going to do by a certain time or any of that. So, you know, he's not that guy. I am. So, you know, I get excited, and that's kind of how, you know, that's how promotion works. So, you know, ultimately, I'm excited about what's going on. I mean, you know, I'm super excited, but, you know, I don't know. Shit. You know what I did? I think I might have messed up here.
You get used to it, but nothing compared to the journey from Skyrim. Yes, they do. Such an honor. I'm sure you would, but it's not allowed.
Alright, there we go. Some taste of elsewhere. That's what I wanted.
Speak to her.
Talk to Alit. There it is. Alright. This is the only part that I really needed. So, anyway, so Tom seems pretty, he seems pretty excited. And when you're excited, I mean, you know, what does that ultimately mean? Is, I guess, the question.
I trade mostly. Those
right, what did I just do?
Thalmor have
Son of a
driven many
bitch.
Khajiit into the jungles and waterways.
This person gives me a quest.
Only supply line in this
Well,
region.
What can I do to help you
Since
out?
you'll be coming and going to Skyrim,
Talk to Kamel.
remember
There we go.
to always follow the moon.
And Kamel, I think, is this guy
Always
over here.
leads to your destination.
Yeah. Right? Ooh, this bitch is starting to get on my nerves. What can I do to help?
Since you'll be coming and going to Skyrim, we appreciate. Remember to always follow the moon. It
Ugh.
always
Anyway,
leads
so
to your
he seems to be
destination.
he seems to be excited. I think that means that he'll be, you know,
And what is it to you?
that he'll be excited.
Speak to
All right, incursion. Now I gotta speak to Kamel. There we go.
If he vouches for
I trade
you, Mervar
mostly.
returns.
Mervar
Mervar
insists.
guards.
Okay, here
Well,
we go.
you know, the king, indeed.
I'm going to look for
Going straight into our main
Mervar's
schoolhouse.
brother now.
Hence Mervar's caution. Thalmor spies are everywhere.
Great.
So anyway, he seems like he's excited about what's going on with Dev. So I'm going to be excited about what's going on with Dev. And by the way, just, you know, for full disclosure here, like, I want to see a 100x. I want to see a 200x. I want to see a 500x. I want to see just magic happen with Dev, right? But if I don't, and I only get like a 5x or a 10x out of it, back up to 50 cents right now, I would be ecstatic. You know, at this point, I would be ecstatic because that would be a significant amount, and you know, I'd be happy with that. Again, I'm also hopefully going to be partnered with them again at some point soon, and you know, either I'm going to get paid cash monthly or I'm going to get paid in crypto monthly. I'm going to ask to be paid in crypto because I want the Dev tokens. I don't need You know, I mean, I need the money. Let me rephrase that. I want to have the money, but I don't need. What I need is to have more dev for the moment that it explodes. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what I would be looking for is, like, for example, if it's trading at, let's just say 5 cents right now, which is trading at, if I were to get a bag of it right now, my fee for partnerships and stuff like that is $2,500. So I would be getting a gigantic amount of dev at this point. To add, I have 150,000 dev as we speak. So if I were to add more at 5 cents on that, I mean, like, we're talking about an enormous, like, you know, that's a pretty big bag. Put it that way. It's a pretty big bag. It'd be double, you know, at least what I already have. So, you know, if that happens, if I'm fortunate enough to get that, then that's going to be the case. If I don't, by the way, if it doesn't work out that way, let's save just in case I screw this up. If it doesn't work out the way that I hope, and, you know, they don't want to pay me with dev tokens or Fiat tokens or something like that, and they want to pay me in USDC or something like that, then I'll just buy $500 at a time and hold on to the rest. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that would be my idea. So my other thing is, I want to get this done, like, now. Like, I am fingers crossed, legitimately, fingers crossed, holding my breath, praying that if we come to an agreement on a partnership, that it's, like, right now, because, like, I always feel like it's just a step away from just ripping. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be something. There's going to be something. How many FPS? Show FPS Skyrim. Oh, I don't have a. I'm using a modded version, so I have no idea. But I have no stuttering. So I'm going to assume, I don't know what the cap is on FPS or anything, but whatever the max is, I'm at that level. Ooh, you just ran around me, you son of a bitch. There we go. Woo. That guy was an asshole. There we go. Now we're gonna sword it. Heal. Oh, and I enchanted my swords with Fiery Soul Trap and Paralyze. And Paralyze works really, really good. So, when I'm playing and I'm doing this shit, like, that Paralyze just seems to trigger over and over and over again. So you don't take too much damage from it, which is kind of nice. So anyway, I'm bullish about I'm bullish about the potential for dev. Again, the problem is Tom's pragmatic sort of approach, where he's just really, he doesn't hype. He's not a hype guy. You know what I mean? Like, he's, you know, he'll never say, we're going 100x, baby. You know what I mean? Hydrate. So, I don't know. I don't know what's going to end up happening. Hoping that it's something good. I think we all need a nice big win. And it's my understanding that Tom is meeting with their big partners. He's already told them what's going on, that he's taken everything back over. And If they're good with that, and they seem like there's no reason for them not to be, is what he says. But if they're good with that, then then we move forward. And full disclosure, he's trying to bring everybody back. He is trying to, he wants the entire team back that Ray just got rid of for, no apparent, I don't know. For whatever reason that Ray decided to lay off every single person on the team without telling Tom. Tom would like to bring some of them back to get across that finish line and get done with whatever they're doing. The important thing, I think, is he has that... He and I have had that conversation. He and, I think, Randy have had that conversation. And it looks like it looks like Tom understands all the things that I've been saying all this time about Dev that they needed to fix or they needed to work on. He actually agrees with, or at least he said that he agrees with me on everything. And we've had discussions about what comes next. Like, what are we doing? What is going to happen? We've had the discussions here about, should be listed on exchanges. There should be an easier way to buy, and it would come from exchanges. So in the event that that can be done, I'm not sure if that's legitimately reasonable right now, by the way, to have a listing on an exchange, not because they, it's just because it's, for some of these exchanges, it's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to get listed on these exchanges. And that's not worth it. Not for, not for anybody. It's really, really not worth it. Okay? But there is some important parts to it. One of the important parts to it is there should be shit, I don't even remember what I was going to say there. Oh, ultimately, you know what? Let's just leave it at, he's very bullish about what's going on right now, and he's super excited. Okay? I am nervous. I'll be honest with you guys. I am nervous about it. Because, we've been through a lot of time. And in that time, we haven't really seen that breakout, that exit velocity, that, whatever big move or whatever, whatever you think, whatever that big move you think should have been, never materialized. Now, it should be noted, we did go to $1.80. Like, I mean, there's a lot of people that's just got to be like, wilding out here talking about how we're not, what was it they were saying? Oh, there it is. First time I hit this thing, it paralyzes, and now I can just, like, whoop it. Kind of silly right there. Anyway, so, nonetheless, it's been a long time. I just would like to see a little bit more happen here. Would like to see, just more positivity out of everything, and then I would feel better. That comes from price action, by the way. That, to me, price action is indicative of a lot of different things. It doesn't mean that a project is good or bad or indifferent. I'm not a 9-year-old with my first crypto wallet, so I understand that. And one of the other things is I've understood since the beginning that it was going to take a while. Oh, that's what I meant to say. I said a long time ago that the team doesn't really care about the token's price. It's not really true. I mean, they obviously care about the price. They want it to pump super hard. They would like to see some kind of crazy numbers out of it. Like, they're not without understanding that the price should, you know, that getting a good pump. But listen, the same people, the same dum-dums who are over here crying like, oh, it's 5 cents right now, and you know, being those guys are the same people who aren't saying the same shit about Cardano that was at $3 at one point and is now down under 30 cents. That's 90% drop. It's a 90% drop, and these guys are all like, no, Dev is the problem. It's really just nonsense. It's really just absolutely silly. And like you can't put it any other way. Like I can't sugarcoat it. Those fat bodies will probably eat that. But I mean, you know, people are doing a lot of complaining, but their complaints are just nonsense and silly. Like they're not paying attention to anything. They're just hoping that they get. And by the way, they are hoping that I'm right. That's ultimately what it is, and that's the part that annoys me. They're hoping that I'm right about what I'm doing. That, you know, the market is still going to pump. That it's got this, you know, it's got this great opportunity. Like they want, you know, they want me to be right. Which, by the way, I want to be right too. I'm not saying I don't. But, you know, things are going to have to happen positive, you know, for that to happen. It really is. Like, no other way to put that. Like, you know, we really need to see that generational pump, that opportunity, stuff like that will validate a lot of this different shit, you know what I mean? And a lot of people used to tell me all the time, they were like, you know, if Dev does what it's supposed to do, and it pumps, you're going to be famous. Like, I don't give a shit if I'm famous. I care if I'm making money. It's nice. It'd be nice to be famous, by the way. I wouldn't be mad at having a level of fame or something like that. Like, I wouldn't be mad at that. But, you know, not really worried about. Time to stop this shit. Woo! That was getting crazy. Alright, Screech was here. I'm pretty sure the same people said the same thing back in 2018. That's exactly right. There's all... Everybody... Look, we're going to have a big run in crypto. Crypto's going to fundamentally change as well. So... You know, we're not... Look, we didn't get a bull run. We did not get a bull run, okay? The reason we didn't get a bull run is the Clarity Act. The Clarity Act has been holding everything up. We got a nice little move back into crypto, but everybody that was getting back into crypto, they were focused on Bitcoin because Bitcoin was it is the preeminent crypto. So, you know, this was a lot of Bitcoin. Ethereum barely broke its all-time high previously. Solana, I don't even think Solana got to an all-time... Like, I mean, there's very few cryptos that got to an all-time high. So, we did not have a bull run. And that means that we will ultimately have a bull run. So, I'm annoyed by not having it, but I'm not really worried about whether or not there's going to be one. Also, I don't know when it's going to be. I know that the 4-year cycle is obviously broken and just totally annihilated and destroyed. So, oh, by the way, I'm heading to this island, and in order to get to this island, you have to kill all these fucking elves. Let's get down. There we go. Oh! Hope I'm not shooting my own people. So, and that is a new book that we don't have. All right. LFG, baby. All right, now we got to go downstairs. We got to kill the guy down here. But seriously, we're in a bad space in crypto, by the way. Just to be very, very clear. Like, we are not in the greatest of places with cryptocurrency right now. Cryptocurrency is not holding up its end of the bargain. Most of that has to do with, again, that Clarity Act not happening. And what did happen with the Clarity Act in the last 48 hours is we haven't had the significant sort of concession. Now, there was some talk that maybe there was some concessions to be had in the market with the banks, but apparently the banks were just not ready to give up on their fight. So I don't know what's going to happen there. But Trump administration has been doing everything that they reasonably can to try to make something happen. It just hasn't happened yet.
Perhaps there is something disordered. Exactly.
Rebuilding the Pras Kulan has been able to locate the pirate stronghold. There we go.
Kulan has finally been able to locate.
What the fuck are we doing here? That's not even the place that we're... Okay, that's weird.
Kulan has landed the ship as quietly as only Khajiit can. Perhaps no one has noticed us, but this one has spotted quite a few pirates around. You'll need to take care of them first. Okay, let's go.
Alright, well, let's see what happens here. I don't know. I don't know where the fuck I'm at. Yeah, this is not the place. Find and free Joran. Talk to Kulan. There we go. I need to get back to the Topol Sea base. That's the one. I don't know why that wasn't available. This was just some random island out here, and I gotta clear it out. Anyway, so Bitcoin's, I mean, crypto's not gonna do very much until we get to a moment in time where we've got some basically clarity in the crypto market. Doesn't mean that we're not gonna pump. Doesn't mean that there won't be a pump. There's always possibility of a pump. It's just if that generational opportunity, that blow off moment, that crazy, you know, the what we're looking for, that crazy, explosive, life-changing sort of gain happening out of nowhere for every crypto, and you know, all of that kind of stuff. That's going to take a little bit more. The markets are no longer worried about that. The markets are the institutions that oversee all this kind of stuff and pull their wackadoo bullshit. All of those guys, they are not willing to put their money and lay their money out to trap and sucker everybody in. And that's really what's happened each and every time, is people get suckered in. If you're in the market, remember, timing the market or time in the market. The timing the market is better, or time in the market is how you make the gains. That's how you make the wins, etc., etc. You don't make it from timing the market correctly. So,
Joe was getting bored
you know what I mean?
around there. Decided to experiment with flying toads. Joe
So,
can say in
like,
peace
we're just
now.
gonna have to,
Actually,
you know,
Joe, no worrying about old Joe.
we're just gonna have to deal with it.
Ask Kulan to send my apprentices.
But it will come back around. We'll get a crazy move. And by the way, if any crypto, by the way, that brings me to Definity. It is my understanding that, and look, if you're not into Definity, whatever. But there is a allegedly they're going to have another major announcement. Now, for full disclosure, they partnered with the Midnight Foundation, who is launching their mainnet at the end of March with, and you know, the lead developer is Charles Hoskinson. So the guy for Cardano is the man. So, you know, everything about Definity is, for me, ready for just an absolute generational sort of run. I'm just, you know, I'm just twiddling my thumbs here and wait until he receives word from Kulan. We're done here. Go back to the forest.
Yes.
All right.
Home, sweet home.
Let's do that. It's coming. Let's just say that. It's coming.
Duran has sent word. The rebuild is complete and he welcomes us to inspect the stronghold.
Alright, now we're going to go back to the new base in the Topal Sea. There we go. And now, let's see what he has to say here. Nothing there. Okay, don't need to worry about him. So over here, instead of having enemies now, they've occupied it. And there is a guy over here that has a Staff of Indaris for me. There he is. And another book that we don't have.
Rakis is... Oh! Rakis
There we go.
is glad you have made it here. Elsewhere has great... And
Staff
now
of Indaris.
So Rakis happens upon this realm. And now the Thalmor see. And so Rakis gives to you
There
the
it is.
Staff of Indaris. And may they blame. And you do not want that.
You know, I never even paid attention to the stats. What does the Staff of Indaris do? Staff of Indaris strikes the target with a bolt of natural energy, damaging health and magicka. May also stagger the target.
Yeah,
That's what the Staff of Indaris does. Sounds good. So it belongs in a museum. We're done with that. And moving on. So I would... and see, like Screech is saying Cardano is dead. Cardano has a $13 billion market cap or a $12 billion market cap, and we got somebody saying it's dead. Like, that's doesn't even make sense. Like, look, I mean, certainly everybody is entitled to their opinion of something. You're certainly entitled to an opinion, but if it's not grounded in reality,
yes.
that's silly. That's nonsense. Now, Cardano was dead 2 years ago when it was at this level, and it ended up running up to $1.50. So, like, every time people say wackadoo shit like it's dead or something like that, it's not. It's just not. So, you know, XRP seemed dead for years. Right, exactly right. XRP seemed like it was dead. Everything seemed like it was dead. It's just a matter of, at this point... Oh, damn it. Did I get away with it? Ah, I got away with it. Haha. Oh, the reason I was doing this, by the way, this is the only thing to do out here. Like, this is not a huge, like, quest line. There might be a quest or two that I didn't take or that I didn't do. But the only purpose behind this was to get the Staff of Indaris. Once I get the Staff of Indaris, then I go back to Skyrim. Once I go back to Skyrim, they give me the Dev Avesa. Dev Avesa is a blimp that you can turn into a player house. So, ta-da, baby, ta-da. Anyway, there's too much. Look, there's too much in this market. There's too much money moving into this market to just sit back and for nothing to happen. We're not in a bear market long term. We're in a bear trend right now, and I mean, hard to do anything about it, but we are not in like another 4-year cycle because we didn't even finish. He's in the library. All right, even finish what we were doing. We didn't get the generational pump. We didn't get anything.
Good day.
Go excavate
All
for
right
me.
then.
There you go. Ooh, that son of a bitch left. When I came in, he came out. Ain't that a motherfucker?
This grand central atrium I have deemed the Hall of Heroes, as it houses the most historically significant artifacts from various key figures. In addition to a wide array of enchanted... Good day.
Here we go. Anything new?
Oh yes, I'll mark the location. Have a look about.
Boomer Royal
You will find
Bust.
the lower
Alright.
and upper
Here we
balcony
are.
lined with several display...
J. We are rebuilding the pass. Wait until he receives word from Kulan. Okay, so we don't need to worry about that. We got the Staff of Indaris. Now that I have the Staff of Indaris, I'm done with that whole area. So we'll drop a painting, get all of our stuff out, and anyway, so what was pumping, by the way, was Tau. Tau was up 7% in just a few minutes ago. So, yeah, I mean, the market, we were at 4.27 trillion market cap 4 months ago, and we have gone down so quickly, so rapidly, it feels like. But if you zoom out and you really look at the charts, it took 37 days in 2021 for us to go down 50%. And the second time we did it, it took 41 days. It took 116 days for us to go down that amount of money in this market. So this market cycle is completely broken. Also, it should be noted that we are now in a seriously oversold territory. And according to data, and I'm looking at these seller exhaustion indicators, and I got one right here, I think. Yeah, it's a seller exhaustion indicator, and it just flipped on Bitcoin a few minutes ago, a few hours ago, and it gave me that full circle. So when you get that full circle, what that's supposed to mean is that you're about to start pumping. When you get the circle at the top, you're going to start dumping, right? So we just got an indicator that said that we're about to pump. So we are hopefully in a good spot right now. So, we'll see what happens there. We're down about 10 billion on the day. After finishing the day, look at this. By the end of the day, we actually had a green upward candle. No, that can't be right. It's got to be on the daily. Yeah. On the daily, we finished right there. We had that surge, went up to 2.31 million yesterday, 2.31 trillion last night. Really good move, really good move. But as soon as the U.S. market came online, just absolutely, and that's really the problem for anybody who's wondering, what it looks like. The problems in the market are generally, and it can be from any other country and stuff like that. Like it's not, not written in stone. Anybody can trade at any time, but when the U.S. markets are open for business, that's when we dump the most. So, and that's every day without fail. And it could be that there's something else going on, but I don't think so. I think it's just, the exhaustion is coming from institutions in this market right now. And I think they're just kind of suffocating us and they want you to sell. They want you to sell because it's how they make their money. You sell, they buy, then you buy on top of what they what they bought, then they make a profit, and then they sell, and then it goes down, and then you wonder like, what the fuck just happened? And that's that's what they're doing, and they do it every day, and it never ever seems to change. So. All right, so we have 244 items now. All right, so get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Adios, 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 adios. Nope, nope, nope. People are afraid to buy in fear, and that's when they're supposed to buy. Like, isn't that the craziest thing? Like, you buy when the market's bloody, but instead of buying, like some of you guys are just like, the market's dead, it's never going to come back, it's never going to happen. Like, that's insanity to me. And by the way, when you have that kind of attitude, when you have that attitude, you can have that. But you can have that attitude. There's nothing wrong with you having that attitude that nothing's going to happen and all that kind of stuff and blah 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 blah. But look, I'm here to tell you, you're not going to make it. You don't have what it takes to be a calm, cool, and collected investor to the level that you're going to be able to survive drawdowns and stuff like that. Like, I Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's just insanity. Like, I've got friends, by the way, and look, let me tell you a quick story. Not long ago, Phil is communications guy over at Dev. He got mad at me for something stupid, and while we were having this little, fight, debate, whatever you want to call it, I said, people are investing here because of me, because I was doing all these videos and content and stuff like that. And then he's like, are you saying that all investors are here because of you? I'm like, that's ridiculous, first of all. And flattering. But that's not true. Like, it's not because of, but I did, my sum total of investors is not 0. So now I am answering to people who send me messages, who have my phone number or something where they can, like, send me messages and, like, they're asking me, like, what's wrong with the price and just all kinds of wackadoo shit. So, I don't know. Hold on.
You need to choose between those two boys. It ain't fair to Sven or Faendal to keep tugging on their heartstrings like that.
Oh, it's bad enough my brother is harping on me to pick one. Now I think it's high time that you lied.
Just saying you should pick one to settle down with.
There we go. My son's grandfather sending me messages.
Can I help you? So I did. Dragon, back to business. As so. However,
right. I think this is and I'll be gladly out.
I tracked the criminal to a village southwest. Not only is he a fearsome combatant, I will continue my investigation. Wait,
I'd better get started.
Happy hunting, Dragon Ball.
I don't even know what I'm doing on this one.
Many thanks. You are doing both Morrowind and Skyrim a great service.
But they're cheering for me. That's not nothing. Pick up the criminal's trail in Little Vivek. Oh, Moon and Star, that's what it is. Anyway, so...
We're here to teach you a lesson.
And he's invested in Pendle, which is why he's texting me. Because he's like, what's going on with Pendle? Like, is Pendle dead? Are you fucking retarded? Like, guys, when you say shit like that, like, I can't even fathom most of the time. And my point is, they do the same thing. Everybody does just the same thing over and over and over again. Everybody's crying about fucking something. Let's see what that contract said. How much was I worth? How much was it worth to die? Here is the agreed upon amount. I expect you to faithfully carry out my request to teach a lesson to the thief Bleaves. You need not kill him, but I have no qualms about it if you deem it necessary. And that's Icantar. I don't know who that guy is. There's Little Vivek over there. On the map right there. Pick up the criminal's trail in Little Vivek. Anyway, so Your son's grandfather, isn't that your father? No, it's on my ex-wife's side. So it's his grandfather, but the guy's like, you know, I mean, I like him, but we're not related. And my a quick story. When my ex-wife and we had my son, she was hiding a drug problem from me, and by the end of it, she was just wilding out, and she decided she didn't want to be a mom anymore. So she moved to England and met a guy there. She went to work there and then ended up meeting somebody while she was there, and they ended up getting married, and I think they're still together. And her mother just passed away last year. So now her father, Nick, he's kind of all alone, so he sends me messages every once in a while. You know, just asking wild questions, because that's who he is. It's what he does. You know what I mean? Like, he's a good guy. He's a really good guy. But he's a little much sometimes, especially when he wants to know about his money and his investment, and why is my investment going down? And by the way, he knows he was he worked for IBM for a lot of years. He is familiar with stocks, with options, with investment and stuff like that. So, you know, the first thing that he told me was, you know, I understand that it's going to go down and stuff like that, but I think really he just wanted to see, you know, just a massive exit liquidity sort of move, like we all wanted to see in that 4-year cycle. So I think he's annoyed with the fact that he didn't get that. I don't know what he was planning on doing. I don't know if he was planning on doing anything. Like, I have no idea. You know, again, we're not friends. I don't know him. We're basically vaguely related. So, animal pens is what they said. Animal pens. What's going on, Shaka? So, and I got to come over here right now and start hacking some wood. Ha 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 ha. Playing with my wood. Anyway, so he wants to know about his investment and stuff like that, but whatever. And it's way down. As a matter of fact, to give you guys an idea here, when he last reached out to me, and he sent me $1,000 for to buy some crypto, and I bought Pendle with it. Pendle was at $1,600 and I'm gonna tell you, 4 months ago, Pendle, his Pendle bag was at $1,600. Today it's at $2.80. Pendle is, or should be by the end of it, one of the largest lenders in all of crypto. It will be, if not the biggest, one of the biggest in all of crypto. And to look at the chart right now, you would say exactly what everybody's saying about Dev and stuff like that. It's dead. You can't make this shit up. I mean, you know, Wintermute destroyed this market. Wintermute absolutely crushed, debilitated, and destroyed cryptocurrency, like in ways that we're gonna spend years, I think, in my opinion, kind of unraveling, because it's crazy. It really is crazy how much money they had in crypto. I mean, it's their only job, of course. So the crazy part is that, and we can't do anything about it. That's the part that sucks the most. Like, you know, They have all the money, and they're entitled, by the way, to their profit. This is the part that sucks about cryptocurrency. They're entitled to their profit. They're entitled to make money. So what did they do? They made a bunch of money, and then what did they do? They cashed out. I mean, we all want to do the same thing, right? I mean, if nothing else, we're just mad because they did it before us. You know what I mean? So, but that really is what happened. You know, we got this shady company, Wintermute, and they just dunked on us. And, you know, what can you say? I mean, what after that? What, you know? So, you know, we just don't have and you know, so many people in meme coins, in everything, so many people have just been annihilated and destroyed, and it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy what happened. By the way, I need to go back over here and look one more time and see, because it says right now that I am streaming to X. I am not streaming to X, though. I am not seeing an X stream here at all. So whatever I thought I was doing, that I thought was going to work there, did not work. So, but I tried. All right, so anyway, that's it. That's the show. I'm going to get out of here. You guys have fun. We spent an hour talking crypto and playing some Skyrim, and that is all I've got time for right now. Let's I will see you guys in the morning. The important thing is we are going to be up and at 'em first thing in the morning, and we're going to figure out what's going on in this market. We're going to figure out how best to make some goddamn money. That's what we want to do, right? We want to make some money. Activate? No, we don't want to do nothing. All right. Yeah, that's it. All right, we're good. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. It's not financial advice. Always right.